I was in 6th grade when the original Naruto anime aired on Toonami back in 2007. I remember sitting down, heating up my dinner, and just turning on the TV because I just knew Naruto was going to be that serious for me just based off the promos I had seen on TV. Naruto, to me, like most of you guys, opened up the gateway to the anime and manga world that was a huge impact on me during my preteen years and followed us into adulthood. This is why I'm proud and excited to review Masashi Kishimoto sensei's newest manga, Samurai 8, with you now that I'm a YouTuber. My goal in this video is to establish the who, what, when, where, why, and the objective of the story, in my opinion of it, with as much information we were given in this first chapter. My goal and what I want to do is review this manga weekly, so I want to make sure we establish and get a solid understanding of the story. My name is Wesley Lindsay, and let's just do this thing. The very first page of the story establishes the objective or the storyline. Essentially, the duty of the samurai is to protect the galaxy. That's their calling. You're going to see this word a lot in the series. There's something known as the Pandora'S Box, and inside it is the means that the warrior god Fudo Mayo used once to save the stars. This taskmaster, this is what I'm calling them until we get an official name, is sending out someone to seek out the 7 keys that will open up Pandora'S Box. Now, I want to make sure we pay close attention to the word means. They're purposely using such a vague word, such as means, so we don't know what's inside the box. Using the word means makes it seem like whatever is inside Pandora'S Box could be a person, it could be a weapon, a formula, an object, whatever. It could be anything. Now, this first chapter is 75 pages. I'm not going to go page by page and reiterate exactly what goes on. That's very unnecessary. I'll only be talking about the things I think that are worth pointing out and talking about. Now, this is entirely personal, but I do want to say that I love seeing that the taskmaster, the leader, the head honcho of the story is a black woman. I absolutely love that. Now, as we start getting to the story, I want to say that this is where I'm presented the first issue with this manga. They stuff way too much visual information on the pages. I read this off of Sean Jump's website, and when I flipped to the page 6 and 7 spread, wow. I was just overwhelmed with the visual information. Between the characters, their weapons, their animal spirits, their armor, their weapons, there is just so much visual information to process and consume. Not only that, they somehow managed to find space for speech bubbles, sound effects, the little orbs everywhere. There's just way too much visual information on the page. When I flipped to page 6 and 7, I was just overwhelmed, and it was just like, oh my god, I feel like I'm at work right now. There's just too much information on the page. The artist here, he has a great art style. I will give him that. I can tell you the first time I looked at the Boruto manga, I was like, what the hell am I looking at? These characters are ugly. So I can say his art style is definitely not easy to look at, but it's definitely palatable. I do enjoy seeing I just like the way he renders and draw things, but it's just too much information on the page. Second scene of the story, we're giving these samurai in a battle. Honestly, I'm not going to dig too deep into what they have to say here because most of it is like philosophical samurai babble, and honestly I feel like what they're saying here is going to be important later into the series, so just digging too deep into it now, it's like we're not even going to understand any of it, so I'm not going to do that. We are finally introduced to the title character, Hachimaru. We're immediately given this information that he was born with a very brittle body, and he's hooked up to this machine that confines him, but is very necessary to keep him alive. Hachimaru has this dog robot thing and his dad that he lives with. Hachimaru seems to have something against his dad because his dad has this inability to have this functioning machine so Hachimaru can leave the confines of his house, which is very understandable. When you're a 12, 13-year-old boy, you definitely don't want to be locked inside your house your whole life. Very understandable for anybody. Even though his dad has very good intentions, you know, he just doesn't have everything necessary to, you know, get this machine up and going. Hachimaru's dad does say he has one final component so this machine can be operable. So he goes to this very sketchy place to go get this component, and obviously the guy's mugged by this evil samurai. In this dialogue, we are just told about how samurai and their bodies work. So basically, people deemed worthy by the warrior god Fudo Mayo, the one that was we were told about earlier. He gives them robot cyborg bodies. A memory unit called a key. It resembles a spine. It becomes the base of the samurai, and everything else like the insides, the skeleton, the flesh, and the rest of the body is constructed with cyborg parts. The warrior god Fudo Mayo left these spear things called locker balls, and only the people compatible with the locker balls can acquire these cyborg bodies. These cyborg bodies can withstand losing limbs, and they regrow pretty rapidly too. They can walk through space and as they do Earth. So these bodies are very durable in outer space, and they also grow limbs back. This time, Hachi's dog fetches this Daruma doll that happens to be this cat. This cat goes by Daruma. Not only that, Daruma happens to be a samurai. So there is a samurai cat named Daruma. So it cuts back to the evil samurai. These cyborg bodies have the ability to hold these special souls. These souls happen to be the samurai soul, which happen to harbor these special weapons to the samurai. I don't know, it's very convoluted. Part of me thinks is like it doesn't really make sense, but part of me is like, I don't know if you guys have seen the manga Busuriken, where it has to do with alchemy, and there's this Busuriken thing, and it's like this soul machine thing that turns into a weapon. It's basically kind of like that. So the evil samurai basically searches Hachi's dad's memory to find out where he's housing the location to this special sword called the Bloodsucker that he wants to go retrieve. So he goes there. He pretty much goes to go retrieve that, but thankfully Daruma is there to stop him. So in the beginning of the story where I told you guys, Hachi's playing this video game and there's this long drawn speech that's not really important. So apparently this video game is something that was distributed by something called the Galactic Net. I don't know, and it doesn't exactly say it, but I'm assuming that the Galactic Net is this part of the organization that the lady is, that has to do with Mayo and just pretty much finding peace and stability in this world. But they don't exactly say it. It could be something else. But I'm assuming is that. So pretty much the Galactic Net sent out this video game so they can access young people that happen to be drawn by samurai, and that happens to be how Daruma found Hachi. Now, to me, this makes absolutely no sense. So you're telling me the Galactic Net sent out a video game across the galaxy to young people to find out if they're interested in samurai or not? Now, that makes no sense to me. It seems like most people in this world would be drawn or inclined to samurai. It doesn't seem like samurai in their existence aren't a legend. It's not like a secret. So it's not like there's just this very like niche people in the world that would be like, hey, samurai, I'm very interested. It just seems like something that most people in the world would be used to. Just like alchemy in the Full Metal Alchemist series, just like ninja are to the Naruto world, just like Pokemon are to the Pokemon world, like to benders are to the Avatar world. Now, granted, not everybody is going to be those things, but it seems like most people are going to know about their existence, or going to be at least, they're sublimated into the culture of this world. So it really doesn't make sense that you're using it. Not only that, but aren't most kids interested in video games? It's like it's like Fortnite, gauging who's going to be interested in joining the army based off young people playing Fortnite. That makes no sense. There's millions of billions of kids in the world. Most of them are playing Fortnite. It makes no sense to me. So, I don't know. It makes no sense to me. Their plan does not work. So, the bad samurai basically holds Hachi's dad captive back wherever he was, and he makes Hachi commit ritualistic suicide to free his dad. Well, come to find out, after Hachi does that, the knife that he used to commit suicide is compatible to Hachi, and Hachi is granted this functional cyborg body. Not only that, Hachi's dog Hayatoro or whatever is given a cyborg body too, and they go after the bad samurai. So, like, whoa, big surprise. We all knew that we all saw that coming, so I'm not gonna act all big and surprised, blah, 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 blah. So basically that big speech where it was like those samurai were talking, and they're talking about all these samurai principles and talking all that gobbledygook. Pretty much, Hachi uses that principle from the video game, and this cane his dad made him to win the scuffle between the bad samurai and himself. The only thing that I'm confused about in this scene is that Hachi did land a fatal blow, but in the following panels, you really can't tell where exactly the guy was hit. This is great info. So this would have been great info to know, because we already established that these samurai cyborgs have very durable bodies, and they can regrow limbs. So it would be great information to know, like, what's a vital hit. Do you have to hit them in the heart, the head, their spleen? Like, what qualifies as a fatal blow in this universe? We're not giving that information at all. But it's funny to me because apparently when the cyborgs die, their bodies retreat into the locker ball, and it kind of reminds me just like when Pokemon faint, they return back to the Pokeball. So to me, it's like, so these cyborgs are basically Pokemon. Not only that, they already have like a Pokemon on their side, like helping them battle. It's just very kind of funny to me. So of course Hachi has his new body, so he goes and saves his brother, not his brother, his dad, and the day is saved, yada yada yada. Something that makes no sense to me is that after Hachi defeats the Bat Samurai that took his bloodsucker sword, it doesn't seem like Hachi or Daruma even cared to go retrieve the bloodsucker sword. You know, like the bloodsucker sword was literally this big component. I'm sure it's gonna be this big component in the series later on, once we're introduced to samurai armor and stuff like that. And so it's like literally the sword just sits there on the ground and just like deteriorates, and Hachi nor Daruma are like, hey, you should probably go pick up your sword that happens to be your soul manifested. So I wish they made a bigger point to at least point that out. I understand that you might be, you know, running out of space to tell your story, but a quick nod to be like, at least just showing Hachi or Daruma going to pick up that sword and making some significance to it is just not that we needed. So last note is that Daruma successfully found the first key of the 7 key to unlock Pandora'S Box, which happens to be Hachi. I don't know. I don't know what the big threat. I'm not sure why they're now going to find the keys to find Daruma, not to find Daruma for Pandora'S Box. We don't know what the big ultimate threat is yet. Why they need to go find the keys. I'm sure we're gonna get to that point. So that's it basically for the story for this first chapter. All in all, I can say I did enjoy Samurai 8. My biggest issue is that their system and how everything works is way too convoluted. It's just too much. They're doing way too much information. And in the Naruto world, when we were first established, of course, we were told about you know, chakra and jutsus and stuff, and that was so easily to understand. Basically, to do ninjutsu, you need to have chakra. Chakra is all you need to do ninjutsu. But here in this story, you need souls, you need bodies, you need keys, you need locker balls, it's just way too much. It's way too much going on. It's like you just need all these steps to become something in this world, and it was just way too much. Oh yeah, like I said, the art style is great. I like it, but there's just too much on the page. It's very overwhelming. Just too much going on visually. But otherwise, I really enjoyed this series. I can't say that I'm too hype about it. It didn't draw me in as much as Naruto did, as much as Bleach did, as much as Avatar did. Maybe when I was a teenager, I was more inclined to anime, and you know, I was more willing to invest parts of my life to these series. So that's why maybe since Samurai 8 is not drawing me as much as Bleach, Naruto, Avatar did. But just be honest, it just didn't. But I will say I'm looking forward to reading it. I can say it. I do look forward to reading it. It's definitely something I'm picking up, and I will be reviewing weekly on this channel, so make sure you subscribe. So I do want to know, what are your thoughts about this first chapter? I do want to leave you guys with 2 questions. Do you guys enjoy Hachimaru as a character? That's the first question. And the second question is, do you think Samurai 8 will become better than the Naruto series. What do you guys think? We don't have to dig too deep, but do you have a feeling, a little inkling that you might enjoy this better than you will enjoy Naruto? Because like we said, this is, you know, Kishimoto's like second real go around. I know Boruto is a thing, but that's like an extension of Naruto. So this is like his second real big, you know, Shonen Jump series. Shonen Jump already did announce Chapter 2 will be coming out May 19th, so it does seem like this will be a weekly series, which I love because that's one of my biggest issues with the Boruto manga right now, is like you guys release 40 pages once a month. That's just too long of a span to be going on here, and trust, I just need weekly series. Weekly series is the thing. Like I said, I plan to review this manga weekly, and it has a weekly release date, so make sure you subscribe to this channel to get updates. I'm gonna give you videos weekly, and if you give this video a like, that's greatly appreciated. I'm not saying to give it to me just cause, but if you look forward to it, if you want to me to be successful, if you guys want this video to be reviewed weekly, go on ahead and give me a like. That's all you need to do. Like and subscribe, comment, and let's just get this engagement going. I want to talk to you guys. I want to know what you think. I don't want to ramble. Let's just keep this going. I'll see you guys next week. My name is Wesley Lindsay. I look forward to seeing you guys again next week, and I'll talk to you next time. Wesley Lindsay, I'm out of here. Bye.